Hey Cardinals, Mr. Carey here to talk to you today about area and perimeter. Those are two terms you're going to hear when you're talking about measuring shapes in geometry. Okay? They can be used to measure a shape that's on a paper. It can be used to measure, and they are used in real life, to measure things like rooms in your house. Okay? So, let's start with perimeter. Okay? The word perimeter. Perimeter is usually measuring the distance around the outside of something. If you take a look at my board, when the company that constructed my board built it, they had two different types of material they had used. They had the white part that covers the center part, and then they have this silver part that goes around the outside of the board. Well, around the outside like that is called the perimeter. So before they built the board, they had to know what the perimeter of the board was going to be so they knew how much material to buy. But perimeter goes around the outside. Anybody have a fence in their yard? Your fence goes around the outside of your property. Okay? Fencing would be perimeter. Okay? If you look in your classroom, next time you're in your classroom, or you can look in your house, okay? Look in the room of your house. Probably along the floor, there's probably a board, okay, that runs along the outside on the wall. Look around, look at the floor, okay? It's called a baseboard, all right? And it goes around the outside of the room. The contractor or construction guy who built the house, all right, the builder, construction, had to know the perimeter to know how much wood to buy, how many boards to buy to put it around the outside. Perimeter goes around the outside. So, how do you find perimeter? Well, let's start here on a figure that has no measurement on it. Okay, this is just a figure, and it's got vertical lines and horizontal lines, and they create a grid or a group of squares. Okay. To find the perimeter, we would start in one corner and we would work our way around the figure. All right? So if I were to walk around or down this side, and each of these is a unit, I use the word unit because I don't know how far it is. I don't know if it's a foot or an inch or a yard. So whenever you don't know what the actual measurement is, you use the word unit. All right? How many units long is this top side? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 units long. So I could put a 4 on that side. Then I would turn the corner and I'd walk down this side. How many units long is that side? It's 3. And I turn the corner again. I'm going to walk down this side. It has a length of 4 units. And then I turn the corner again to go back where I started, and that has a measurement rather of 3 units. If I go all the way around the outside, I'll have walked 4 units, 3 units, 4 units, and 3 units. To find the perimeter then, what's the total distance around, I simply have to do what? What do you think? Yeah, I simply have to add. Okay? Now, do you have to add in order? No, you don't. You don't have to add in order because addition has a commutative property, and you know that. You can change the order to make the addition as easy as you want to make it. If, for example, you wanted to add your doubles. Doubles are the same number twice. If you know your doubles, 4 plus 4 you know is 8, and 3 plus 3 is 6. Now you could add 8 plus 6, and you get your perimeter. Or you can add these two together. 4 plus 3 would give you 7. And then this 4 plus 3 would also have to give you 7. And if you add 7 plus 7, you get a perimeter of 14 units. So this has a perimeter. I'm going to put P here. P equals 14 units. The perimeter, around the outside. Okay, 14 units. Now, if perimeter goes around the outside, I told you the other word we were going to use was area. What do you think area is? If perimeter is the outside, area is the inside. Yes, area is the inside. Do you have a rug on the floor in your house? If you have a rug on the floor and it covers the floor, if it's covering the floor, they had to know the area of the room. Area covers a flat surface. I talked about my board, right? When the company that made this board, they had to know this amount, they had to know the perimeter to know the amount of the silver metal they needed, but to know how big the board was, to cover this spot here, they had to know the area. what the inside was going to be. Okay, so perimeter is outside, area covers the inside. I'm recording this on an iPad, and I'm looking at the iPad right now. Around the outside, there's a rubber border. That's the perimeter. The glass section on the inside is the area. Okay, perimeter's outside, area is inside. So if the perimeter was outside here, the inside is going to be the area. It's this area here. It's this part. This is the area. So how do we find this area? Well, when you have squares like this, area is really easy. All you have to do is simply count the squares. You simply count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 square units. Area is always given in square units because that's what you do with area. You count the squares. All right? So this had a perimeter outside, 14 units. I added my way around. And on the inside, it had an area of 12 square units. Area always counts in squares. Let's take a look at the next figure, and let's talk about the area and perimeter. Let's start with the perimeter. We start in the corner. We're going to walk this side. We want to label our way around first. Okay, this side will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. Turn the corner, 1, 2, 3, 4 units. Turn the corner, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. And then turn the corner again, and we have another 4 units. Now, are you noticing that on a rectangle, the opposite sides are congruent, or they're equivalent? Yeah, they're the same. Opposite sides of a rectangle are the same. So if this side is 6, this side is 6. If this side is 4, this side is 4. Opposite sides of a rectangle are going to be equal. Now, to find the perimeter, I'm going to add my way around. You can add it however you want. If you want to add 6 plus 6 and get 12, add 4 plus 4 and get 8, then you could add 12 plus 8. I'm going to do 6 plus 4, because 6 plus 4 I know is 10. This will be another 10. 10 plus 10 is, tell me, 20. Yes, so the perimeter here will be 20. And again, I want to use that word units because I don't know what the measurement is. I don't know if I used feet or inches or yards or miles. Okay, so I'm going to use the word units, 20 units. Now, for the area, we want to know about the inside. How many squares are there on that inside? That's what we need to know. So we can count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. This has an area of 24 square units. Okay? Now, I wanted you to see something there. That was 24 squares. What happens when you have a bigger shape to measure, and you have a bunch of squares to count? Do you want to sit and count all day? I don't either. And you know what? A lot of times, I told you that when your parents got carpeting on the floor, and they had to know the area of the room, they had to know how big a space that was, they had to know what that area was. Well, no, they didn't draw squares on the floor. They didn't do that. There's a way you can find the area without having to look at squares. And I'm going to show you that right now. Let's take this figure right here. Now, there are no lines on here. There's no grid. It has some measurements, but it has no lines. Okay, so how are we going to find the area in the perimeter? Let's take a look. All right, first of all, I just told you that opposite sides of a rectangle are going to be equal, right? So, if this side is 8, what's the top going to be? The top's going to be 8. It's 8 feet. FT is the abbreviation for foot or feet. Okay, on this side, this is 5. This side is 5. So this is 5 feet. All right. If I want to know the perimeter, I'm going to start in one spot. I'm going to go all the way around. I don't need those lines there. I can simply add my way around to find the perimeter. Okay, so I'm going to do my doubles on this one. Okay, I know 8 plus 8 is 16. I know 5 plus 5 is 10. 16, what's 10 more than 16? Change the 10's place. 26. So the perimeter here would be 26 feet. Now we get to the inside. The inside's a little tougher because there's nothing there. Well, think about it for just a minute. If this tells me this is 8 feet long, how many columns would I have? Look back over here. When this said this was 4, we had how many columns going up? We had 4 columns going up, right? When this said this was 6, how many columns did we have? We had 6. Well, if this is 8, how many columns would go up? There'd be 8 of them, right? Stay with me. This side says 5. How many rows would go across? There'd be 5 rows going across. And each row, just like this, when this was 3, this was 3 rows across. When this was 4, it was 4 rows across. So this was 6 columns, 4 rows. 4 columns, 3 rows. Each row had 4 squares in it. Each of the 3 rows had 4. Each of the 4 rows had 6. If this is going to have 5 rows, each of the rows will have how many squares in it? Look, it's going to have 8. Here's how you can find area without any grid. I want to try to write this so that you can see it somewhere. Area equals the length times the width. Length and width are 2 connecting sides on a rectangle or square. Okay? 2 connecting sides. They have to connect. Not 2 opposites, but 2 connecting sides. So I'm telling you that if you can find the length and the width, you can multiply and get the area. Look at this. 4 times 3. 3 rows of 4 is going to give you 12. 3 times 4 is 12. 6 times 4, 4 rows of 6. 6 times 4, 24. Let's go up here. Okay? We have 5 rows. Here are my 2 connecting sides, right? Here. Oops, that marker doesn't write well. Here and here. These are my 2 connecting sides, right? 5 rows of 8. 8 times 5. 8 times 5. 5 rows, 8 in each one. 5 times 8, 8 times 5. Commutative property, doesn't matter. What is it? What's 8 times 5? The area here on the inside, remember area is the inside, the area is going to be 40 square feet. 40 square feet, because 5 times 8 is 40. You can multiply to find the area. 5 times 8 is 40. Okay? If I drew them, if I drew the 5 columns and I drew around the 5 rows rather, and I drew the 8 columns, would I get 40 squares? I would. I'd end up having 40 squares. I'd have 8 and then 16 and then 24 and then 32 and then 40. I'd have 8 5 times. It would be 40 square units. Multiplying is faster than drawing and counting squares. Next one. 3 inches long, 11 inches wide. Opposite sides are the same, right? On a rectangle, so this side is 11. This side is 3, okay? Again, you can add it however you'd like. 3 plus 11 is 14. These two will also be 14. Now I'm going to add 14 and 14. Imagine that in your head, 14 and 14. The 2 4s are going to give you an 8. The 2 1s are going to give you a 2, 28. So this has a perimeter of 28 inches. 28 inches. Okay, now let's do the area. 2 connecting sides, right? Length, width. This side, the 3, this side's 11. Okay, 3 times 11, because we're going to have 11 rows, and there's going to be 3 in each one. There's going to be 3 in the first one, 3 in the next one, 3 in the next one, 3 in the next one, 11 times. 3 times 11 is 33. This would have an area of 33 square. Now this one is square inches. It's going to make 33 square inches. All right. So perimeter around the outside, right? We add it. Area, find 2 connecting sides, length times width, and that'll tell you what the area is going to be covering the inside. All right, here we go. This is a square. What do you know about squares? All the sides are the same, right? I only have one measurement, but you know that squares are all the same. So if this side is 2, they're all 2. Okay? add your way around and find your perimeter. Did you get it? Did you add your way around? What's the perimeter? 8 centimeters. Okay. Now, area, 2 connecting sides, right? The top is 2, the side is 2. Area, you multiply length times width. What's the area going to be? If the top is 2 and the side is 2. Good. 2 times 2 is 4. So the area is going to be 4 square centimeters. Now, I'm going to use this one because I don't have to draw a lot. I'm going to use this one to show you exactly what I've been saying. This is saying that it's 2 centimeters, right, on the side. So if I drew a line like this, 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters, right? And then this is saying it's 2 going across the top. Well, if I draw a column, 1 centimeter, 2 centimeters going across the top. Now when I get to the area part, and I have to count the squares, 1, 2, 3, 4, just what I had when I multiplied. So multiplying is going to save you a bunch of time. When it's 2 and 2, yeah, it's easy to draw the squares. But if you had numbers like 12 and 15, you're not going to sit and draw all those squares. Okay, so you have to know that you can multiply. All right, next. We have another rectangle, 7 inches long, 4 inches wide. We want to find the perimeter around the outside. What do you know? Opposite sides are the same, right? So 7 and 7 inches here, 4 inches and 4 inches here. All right, and then we're going to add our way around. Okay, I'm going to do doubles here. 7 and 7 is 14. 4 more would be 18. 4 more would be 22. This has a perimeter of 22 inches. 22 inches around the outside. How about the area? 2 connecting sides. Find them. 2 connecting sides. 7 and 4. 7 and 4. So we want to multiply those because we're going to have 4 rows of 7 in each one. There's going to be 7, 7, 7, 7. 4 rows of 7. All right? What is 4 times 7? Got to know your multiplication facts, gang. If you don't, you got to work on it. 4 times 7 is 28. So the area on the inside, 28 square inches. All right, last one. We have a rectangle 3 miles. Ooh, so imagine you got a big field. Imagine there was just a big, huge area, a big field. Okay? 3 miles one way, 4 miles the other way. Okay? Opposite sides are going to be equal. 3 miles, 4 miles. We add our way around. 3 and 4, 7. 3 and 4, 7. 7 and 7, 14. This would have a perimeter of 14 miles. 14 miles. All right? To find the area, the inside, we want to look at 2 connecting sides. 3 miles, 4 miles. We want to multiply. We're going to have 4 rows of 3. 3 in each one. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. 4 times. 4 times 3 is 12. This would have an area of 12 square miles. 12 square miles. All right, gang. 2 things. Perimeter. Perimeter goes around the outside. Okay, going around the outside. If your teacher has a bulletin board in their room, all right, and they put a border around the bulletin board, they had to know the perimeter so they knew how much border to put on there. If they have a piece of cloth that covers the inside, they had to know the area to know how much cloth to put on the inside. Area is inside, perimeter is outside. You find perimeter by adding your way around. Add your way around. Area, find the length, find the width, and you can multiply to know how many squares how many square units will be on the inside. Go to the description box, and there is a link for you to click on, for you to have a worksheet that you can take a look at for a little bit more practice. Okay, work hard. I'll see you next time. Bye.